The room in Manchester felt like it belonged to history the moment the envelopes were opened. A hush that could be heard like a held breath. Then a collective exhale when Mariona Caldentey's name was called. It wasn't just an award handed out. It felt like a spotlight swinging into a player who, in her first season at Arsenal, remade herself from Barca escapee into the heartbeat of a club, hungry for European silverware. Teammates smiled with the knowing pride of people who had watched her change positions, drop a pass like a stone into space, and made midfield look like a chapel where every movement mattered. The applause wasn't polite, it was recognition from players who know the grind, the late nights, and the training ground small mercies that make greatness. When she accepted the Players' Player prize, the message was clear. Peers saw the work and respected it. This wasn't a solo success though. Arsenal's presence across the WSL Team of the Year underlined a club that has rebuilt itself into more than a lineup. It's a system. 4 gunners in the 11 spoke of balance. Defence that breathes, midfield that invents, forwards who punish mistakes. You could feel the narrative stitching together. A club whose domestic second-place finish and heroic European run ended with trophies and a sense that the architecture of women's football in England is shifting. Coaches and scouts in the room scribbled notes, not for gossip, but because the game itself is changing. New models, new market value, new expectations. And amid that club consolidation, a fresh storyline arrived with Olivia Smith, an electric teenager who carried Liverpool's confidence like a banner, and then crossed the threshold into Arsenal for a fee that made headlines. The Young Player Award was not merely about goals or assists. It was a signal that investment in women's talent is no longer theoretical. Transfer windows are no longer whispered things. They are market events. Consequences of scouting, development, and appetite. Smith's reaction, wide-eyed, grateful, already thinking in team terms and Champions League nights, told a story of ambition that aligns with Arsenal's upward swing. For viewers, that line between individual brilliance and institutional growth is the money shot. Young talent becoming a lever for club progress. The ceremony also paused to honour a different kind of architect. Emma Hayes took the PFA Merit Award for a career that rewired the women's game. Titles, cups, international success, and a coaching style that turned clubs into performance factories. Her recognition was not about a single season, but about the slow, stubborn work of normalisation, making elite women's football visible, viable, and something broadcasters, sponsors, and fans could rally behind. When figures like Hayes are celebrated, it's proof the game's scaffolding is being reinforced, not just its glamour. That structural shift matters as much as any goal, because it determines whether leaps become long-term progress. Of course, the PFA night was a two-sided mirror. While women's football surged in narrative and investment inside the banquet, across the room, Mohamed Salah was doing something no man had done before, claiming a Men's Player of the Year that added fresh pages to a legacy already written in goals and late-game heroics. His award was a reminder that while the women's game accelerates, the men's side still produces its own epochal moments. The coexistence of both stories in one evening made the ceremony feel like a crossroads. Tradition and transformation meeting under the same lights. So what does this mean for fans, clubs, and the sport at large? It means narratives will be shorter and stakes sharper. It means a transfer window in the WSL reads like a headline, not a footnote. It means squad building in women's football is now strategic, financial, and public. It means youth development, the kind that produced Olivia Smith, has real market value, and that coaches who build cultures like Hayes's leave legacies that outlast a single season. For Arsenal, for opponents, for the league, and for viewers everywhere, this PFA night delivered a compact forecast. Competition will intensify, money will follow visibility, and rivalries will harden into stories that drive audiences and sponsors alike. The final image of the evening wasn't a trophy or a speech. It was the room's lingering hum as players, coaches, and young hopefuls left the stage and stepped back into the real work. Training, scouting, negotiating, and dreaming. The awards were a punctuation mark, not a period. For Caldentey, Smith, Hayes, and the clubs they represent, the sentence that began in Manchester reads like the opening line of a new chapter, one where surprises can become norms. And where the winners tonight inspire the contenders of tomorrow.